Jarman Impey's in the extended squad. Are we expecting him to play on Sunday?
Yeah, we are. Yes, yeah. We'll play Jarman. And we'll make some, obviously, run through and finalise the team today, but Jarman I expect to play.
What's his attitude been like, especially after he's off field back in December?
As good as you could get, first class. Jarman's really attacked everything he's needed to attack. He's, obviously he made a big mistake and he's owned that. We've made him pay a price for that, and he couldn't have done any more to earn the trust back of the group.
If Jarman Impey comes in, who comes out then?
I suppose I can say that. Brett Eddy.
Is that a fault of his game last week, or?
It's probably more about what Jarman's going to bring to the team, we think, than Jarman's part of our best team. And when you've got players of that quality available, you need to put them in the team. And Brett did everything he could last week to help us get a win, and it's not because Brett was really poor. It was just the fact that Jarman Impey was available and we were always going to pick him.
He can play just about anywhere. Defender, forward, midfield. Where do you see his best position at coming into the team?
I think you're right. He can play anywhere, so it's great flexibility for us. But look, we think he brings some pressure to our front half, and that's where we'd like him to be.
How impressed have you been with his performance? I guess he did very well in JLT, and then to play last weekend as well. Did you expect him to flourish this quickly?
Jarman or Brett?
Brett.
Oh, Brett. No, Brett's... Yeah, we did, probably. We thought he would make a pretty instant impact because of his ability at the lower level. He's kicked lots of goals over a period of time, and we thought his football smarts would come through quite quickly if we could give him those opportunities, and to his credit, he's been able to do that, and he'll play plenty more games for us.
Was that already factoring in how Fremantle works in defence, and you wanted to lock them in a bit more there?
Oh, no, we think our best model, Rooch, is based around, pressure. Defensive pressure as a team, and that's what our best model looks like, and we think Jarman helps us improve that, and that's not to say Brett is a long way, but clearly one's got super fast, and one's a taller player, so we've probably got the ability to put a bit more speed in the team.
You were pretty strong at the end of Saturday's game, saying consistency.
Yeah.
How are you going to see it?
Yeah, well,
is it not even going to be this game? Surely you're going to want to see it over a longer period than that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, it's a whole footy season that we want to see it over, and everyone's got every right, I think, to flag that for us, and I almost say thank you for that, because it makes sure that we are on edge and we are ready to go, and we're going to bring our absolute best to Fremantle on Sunday.
There was that line from Paddy Ryder at the end of the game. He said the team loves to be underdogs. How do they feel about being favourites?
Oh, I don't think that's the key for us. That's not going to be an issue. That shouldn't be a part of our agenda at any stage through any week. It should be about the way we play, the system that we run, and how we structure up together. It can't be about the scoreboard. It has to be, or what the punters are saying. It has to be about what you do consistently in your actions, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Do you get a bit the antenna going when you hear Ross telling himself up about not dealing with what the opposition was going to bring, so you expect him to be picking off what you added to this group?
Yeah, no, I have great respect for Ross Lyon. Ross is the highest of high quality coaches, and he'll be doing everything he possibly can, and it won't be because he hasn't checked out Port Adelaide Football Club thoroughly that gets in the way this week. I know what Ross is like.
Did you note that of him on the weekend where he said he's taking responsibility that he should have done more, so it makes you get a bit more?
No, not really. No, I really want to focus on us. Fremantle are the opposition this week, but I do tend to spend most of my time on us. And Ross has obviously got his own agendas that he's working to there. For me, it's about what we've got to bring.
Ross said Freo will protect Nat Fife. Are you prepared for a physical game?
Always are. In AFL football, you don't have a choice. It's quite simple. And every team, as a team, you protect each other. That's the most important thing. And I don't is protect the right word, but you play for each other, and that's what we should do.
Do you embrace it a bit more now? You've got we talk about it so much, the big-bodied midfield. Do you embrace that a little bit more, knowing you've got the manpower in the guts?
I think we're happy that we've got some strong-bodied players. There's no doubt about that. And we've had a year last year where we had to learn to play really physically tough inside football because we were dominated from ruck point of view most weeks. So we've had some great practice for this week, I think, because I think Aaron will give them a first look at it.
Given Ross's comments, though, about obviously trying to protect Fife, do you expect the umpires to be a bit more strict on any, sort of contact off the ball regarding that?
No, umpires should umpire what they see.
Is tagging, do you tag Nat Fife, or you just sort of watch how he goes in terms of his impact?
No, you try to restrict and reduce whatever the opposition's best or better players are doing it on any day, and that's no different for us this week. We won't want Fife or Mundy or Neil or any of the Hill boys or whoever else is in the Fremantle side to get away and cause us damage, because you focus on one, there's others that get you.
Is he the best man for it because he can play him in the midfield and play him in defence?
Oh, he's one of them, Bruce. He's played on those type of players in the past. Ollie can certainly play on those blokes. Whether he can play on him in defence, I don't think that's something we'd want to do.
You used the tagger a couple of times last year with Kane. Is there still room for a tagger in 2017?
Yeah, absolutely there is. If you, as I said, if you've got some player that's causing you grief, you've got to have the ability at some stage to try and quieten them down. That's any side would want to do that, I would imagine.
In an age when it's all about team roles, though, can you dedicate a man to say just go and stop him?
If that one man's hurting you the most, you can, because you have to. Otherwise you're going to lose the game anyhow. So I think that's my own personal view. I think you can actually absolutely put one player to another player and try and limit their damage.
Does the focus become dangerous though? Because you remember where times when you've locked down on Fife, Lachie Neale gets loose. If you try to play two lockdowns, then you've got no one creative. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah, and that's the key. That's exactly what it is, because you do. That's what I said before. You've got quality through everywhere in the Fremantle Football Club. So you can't concentrate too hard on one, but you've just got to be able to have an accountability to opponents, and that's what we need to do.
Was it Nick Smith or Robbie Gray last week who was the story there?
Well, you give credit to the opposition always, and I think Sydney played a good game of football against from a Robbie point of view. Robbie would be first to say that he wasn't quite as clean as he'd like, and he's had limited preparation. He'll get better. He's a great player. He's 3-time best and fairest winner for our football club. I think Rob will play pretty well this week.
So he's okay. There's been a bit of doubt about what sort of condition he's been.
No, he's fine. No, he's fine, Rich. He's had some groin issues and stuff over the summer, but they're not stuff that stops a player of Robbie's quality. That's not something we even talk about and worry about. But I think Robbie will respond pretty well.
Bit of head knock, that's all right. That's all.
Yeah, no, fine.
And how do you want to use him? Because
the most damaging way I can.
But what is the most damaging way? Is he?
Well, it's a week-to-week thing with Robbie. I mean, with the quality of those types of players, it's no different. I watched Dangerfield last week because I've said they played Fremantle, but you watch Fife week in, week out. It's where you need them at the time, and sometimes it's in Martin last night in the last quarter. You use those type of players. That's the great thing about them. They can be equally as damaging, whether they're in the forward line or in the midfield. So you weigh up where you're at.
Is the ruck schoolyard thing getting out of hand in the AFL? What's going to happen if the day 5 people put up their hand to say they're going up for a ruck?
I think that's pretty clear though. The umpires they know they have to get 2 people. We can't have 5 hands in the air. We just say no, it's you and it's you. You're going in the ruck, and that's it.
But do you want umpires calling it?
No, I think that
go up for ruck for it?
Yeah, I think that's what the rule says. Until we can sort out. I think it's personally. I actually think it's good not having the third man in. I think it works for the rucks. But
wouldn't it be more simplistic if you just have if the third bloke goes up, you penalise him without whoever nominates?
Possibly. Not sure.
Can you touched on Jarman before? What sort of boxes has he had to tick to get your faith back?
Oh, the whole team, the whole club. It's not just me, but Jarman's basically had to work his way through the whole pre-season, knowing that he was going to be unavailable for round 1, and then he had to play last week in a sample trial game where he would been pretty disappointed to miss out on the opportunity that was in Sydney for him. So, and he played really well in the first half last week in the sample game. So, it's a collection of behaviours. It's not just a one-off thing. It's what you do over a period of time. And Jarman, before the mistake, let's be honest, before the mistake, first-class person. So he made a mistake. But he's learned from that mistake, and hopefully that proof will continue to be throughout his whole life, not just in his football life.
He's in court this afternoon. Without knowing, does the club have anything to do with that at all? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, no, what happens there is he faces what he should face. The court system will put in place what they need to, and we'll respect that, and Jarman will abide by that, and we will too. It's what it's supposed to be.
Are you a traditionalist? Would you endorse what Gillon McLaughlin's done with 2:30 as the grand final, or is the game at a point where it needs to change?
I think the grand final will be pretty special any time you have it, but I'm interested in what it might look like if it was at night time. But so I'm not dead set against moving it.
Kenny, you've got Drew and Adelaide in the extended squad. Will they come close to making the cut?
No, they won't play.
Was Nathan Crapper close this week, or just needs some time in the sample?
Yeah, unfortunately for Nathan, he wasn't able to play last week
Yeah.
because he was suspended, so he just needs a game. You know, he's had a couple of weeks now where he hasn't been able to play, so you know he needs to train and get a game. And you know, even for us this week, we've only got some match simulation stuff for the boys who are not playing because of the late start to the sample, which is not ideal for us.
How happy are you to be back home this week?
Sorry?
Adelaide Oval. How happy are you to be back at Adelaide?
Yeah, it's exciting because we went there last week to watch the Crows and the Giants play, and there's nothing better than going to Adelaide Oval. And I hope for this week that all our people come along, and you know we hopefully gave them a little bit of belief last week in Sydney that they come to the ground in mass numbers this week and they fill it up as best we possibly can, and we make it, as Ross said, make it a noisy and an uncomfortable environment for Fremantle. Expect the Port Adelaide people to do that.